Hello and welcome to How to Automotive and this episode of Giving Automotive. Today I got an update video for you guys, kind of give you a rundown of what we did to the truck. We're just about to reveal it, so stay tuned for that. So this is Nick. He is a naval officer serving in Afghanistan right now, and we're fixing up his truck. So Nick got the truck from his dad. It's a 1996 Ford F-150 with the 4.9 liter engine. So Nick took it apart about 4 years ago, and he was doing some work on it to get it to pass smog. Around the same time, he was going to college to become a nurse, and he was studying full-time, and after he became a nurse, so he decided to join the Navy, and he got shipped over to Afghanistan, and now he's putting his skills to work for our country. So the truck has been sitting for 4 years. He had removed the intake manifold. He was changing out the secondary air injection parts on it. He took all the brackets off the front of the vehicle. So his family reached out to me and Giving Automotive to put this vehicle back together, get it running for him. So here's a recap of everything we did to it. So the first thing we did was we got the engine reassembled, figured out all the vacuum lines. We figured out what was going on with the secondary air injection. For you that don't know what secondary air injection is, it's basically what they call a smog pump. It pumps oxygen into the exhaust, warming up the exhaust. The CAT doesn't work or begin to work and reduce the emissions until it's hot, so it's designed to help speed up that process. So what made this challenging is we had no idea where any of the nuts and bolts and fasteners were. He had a mix of old parts and new parts, so we had to kind of figure out that. He had a lot of the secondary air injection parts, so we assembled all the parts that he had and assembled the engine, and then we went ahead and pulled some maintenance on the vehicle. An extra challenge that I ran across is I do not know Ford engines and vehicles at all. I rarely get a chance to work on a Ford, so it was a big puzzle. We managed to figure out all the brackets, all the bolts, and the engine actually went together pretty smoothly. It's time consuming, but smoothly. So after we got the engine put back together, we pulled some maintenance. So we changed the engine oil, we changed the fuel filter, we drained and filled the coolant. So now we were ready to fire the car off. We were a little nervous. We had no idea what the condition of the engine was, if it was going to run, if it was going to have a rod knock or anything like that. But the vehicle, it fired right off. So once we got the engine running, I noticed it had a slight little misfire. Also, if you notice, as the engine's running here, you can see a lot of the dust and dirt flying off the engine. This car was sitting for 4 years, and it collected a lot of dirt and dust in the interior, exterior of the engine bay. It was pretty dusty, and you can see it here in the video. So the first day was getting the engine to running and doing some little maintenance on it. So the second time I came back to work on the truck, we focused on the interior. It had a lot of stuff piled inside of it and kind of used as storage. Once we got everything removed from the inside of the vehicle, we got a good look at what we're working with, and the interior was really dirty. If you look at the carpets here, it was heavily stained. I think at one time there might have been a dog sleeping inside here. The seats were stained. The dash had a thick layer of dirt on it. One of the windows was left down, so all the dust and debris was basically building inside the interior of the vehicle. So even though the cab of this truck is pretty small, it took me 2 or 3 hours of heavily cleaning the dash, the carpet, the headliner, everything you can possibly think of. I used power tools, a whole lot of elbow grease. One of the things that made this particular task tough, it was about 100 degrees. It had a little heat wave, so it was about 100 degrees in the garage. The brushes you see me using actually belong to my daughter. She discovered them online. She said that they work really well, so we tried it out on the truck. And let me tell you, this worked really well using the combination of the soap and water, the drill, and then a wet vac and sucking out all the water and dirt out of the carpet. Worked extremely well. We also used it on the seats. The cool thing about these brushes is they come in different sizes to get into those tight areas. Right here, I'm doing it right next behind the seat belt here. We used them on the seats and got the dirt and debris. If you look on the seats, you can see how much, it was almost like mud in the seats right there as we worked it, and then we sucked all that out and got it clean. It actually came out amazing. You would not believe the before and after. The video probably doesn't do it justice. Seeing it in person was amazing. So now we got the interior dialed in. It looked really sharp after we were done. Everything was clean, spotless. So after finishing the interior, we came back another day and we decided to make the engine run a little better. It had, like I said, it had a little misfire, so we went ahead and changed out the ignition wires, spark plugs, cap rotor, So basically we worked all the kinks out of it and got it running really smooth. So we checked over the brake system, made sure that it was good. Now it's time for its very first test drive in 4 years. So I'm backing it out of the garage here and I realized I can't even see out of the front windshield. So we had to do a quick little spot wash on it. All right, we're gonna go for a little spin and we're gonna basically see how she does. We're gonna get the rust off the rotors and see how the clutch feels. We have no idea. And also maybe even test out the AC. We have no idea if any of this works. Whoa, a bunch of dust just blew out of the dash. Whew. So on its first drive, it did amazingly well. So Nick had already purchased a cat and he wanted it installed. So we found a local shop to weld it in for us. So now it's time to make the exterior of the vehicle look good. So I recruited some help.
Okay, so what's in my car cleaning kit is just a few essential things like car wash, some brushes for the spokes, and some window cleaning stuff. And then I got this at Walmart, like $5, and it's just easy to scrub the car with. And then all you need is a bucket, and I also got this from the dollar store, just for the window.
So with the help of my daughter Vanessa and her detailing kit that she put together, we gave the truck a thorough washing.
So over here you can see that there's a lot of oxidation right here. There's stains where we couldn't get out with our regular car wash. So now we're going to go in with a clay bar and get rid of those.
So the stains in the paint were too bad to be removed with clay barring. So what we did was we switched over to 2000 grit wet dry sandpaper, and basically we wet sanded the entire truck. And so what I did was I took a foam pad and 2000 grit sandpaper and I basically sanded the entire truck. It took about 3-4 hours of sanding the whole truck. Now this was a single stage paint job, meaning it does not have clear, so I was able to color sand the entire truck. So while I was color sanding the truck, my daughter focused on the rims, the bumpers, and all the chrome trimming. So this was a long process here, color sanding a vehicle. It takes a lot of time. We worked into the night. So when you color sand a vehicle, when you're done, it's going to look flat. There's not going to be any shine on the vehicle at all. It's going to be super smooth to the touch, and most of the deep scratches and stuff that were in the paint are going to be removed. So now we need to buff the paint back out. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut and polish the vehicle. So I'm using a rough wax here. It's kind of like a gritty, almost like sandpaper wax. And basically we're just going to buff the entire vehicle with this gritty type sandpaper. After you buffed it with the rough compound wax, then you switch over to a finer compound and a different pad, and then you polish the paint. Then you'll wash the vehicle one more time and wash off any of the excess wax that slings from the buffing, and get all the debris and stuff cleaned off. And once you get that final washing done, the truck will be spotless. The paint will really look sharp. So now we have one more challenge. We need to drive the vehicle until the self-check monitors on the computer run. So right here we're putting some miles on it, and we need the self-check monitors to run so we can go through smog and get it registered. So in the next video with the Giving Automotive, we're going to do the reveal. Nick will be home from Afghanistan soon, and he's going to be shocked. So thank you guys for all the support you guys have given in the process of the Giving Automotive program. You guys donated money, and we were able to buy more parts for this vehicle and do it better than we initially planned. So we want to thank you for that. I'm Brian Esser from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Encourage you to subscribe. Invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for your support. If you're interested in helping out the program, there's a link for it in the description of the video. Thank you for watching. Yeah, 45 years old, I'm going to get back into it.